I forgot.
It's going to be under...
I forgot that. Have a seat under the gym.
Call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight we have two attorney-client executive sessions to discuss ongoing litigation, settlement negotiations, and strategy relating to litigation expenditures in the following two cases. The first is Carter and Fort versus Wakulla County, which is pending in circuit court, and it's case number 10-147CA. We will go to the back, and Bill Graham, who is our insurance counsel, will be joining us. After that one is concluded, we will be discussing the case of Roddenberry versus Wakulla County, which is pending in federal court, case number 411CV00204 SPM WCS, and our special counsel from FACT is Brian Duffy, and he'll be joining us for that one. So with that, I would suggest that we convene in attorney's client session in the back room. We have a court reporter waiting.
Okay. All right. We're going to adjourn the shade session, come back into session, and we're going to turn over to some early county attorney business. County attorney, could you please update us?
Sure. In the matter of Carter and Fort versus Wakulla County, I would like to propose that the board make a motion to approve the terms of a settlement that will be drafted in outlining substantially the following terms. The plaintiffs agree to dismiss with prejudice their action against Wakulla County and agree further to release all other claims or actions they may have against the county in any way related to the facts alleged in their complaint. In return, Wakulla County agrees to release the lien on their property and forego any right to collect the existing lien and fines associated with the property located at 42... somebody's going to have to tell me how to pronounce this. Naskapi Street?
Spell it.
Naskapi?
So moved.
Hold on. The terms of the settlement, along with the facts asserted in plaintiff's complaint, were discussed in the attorney-client session, and we're asking you to approve those terms and to delegate to Mr. Edwards the authority to sign the settlement agreement once it's drafted.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you. With regard to the next matter, which is Roddenberry versus Wakulla County, we have generally discussed the terms of a proposed settlement in the attorney-client session. We have copies of a proposed settlement agreement, and we are looking for board approval of that settlement agreement with authority for the chairman to sign.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of passing what was discussed earlier?
Aye.
Aye.
It passes unanimously. We will now recess until 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
Order. We're going to start our meeting this evening with an invocation by Commissioner Lynn Arts, to be followed by a Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow our heads and pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, please look down upon our county, bless all of our citizens, and fill our hearts with love, kindness, gratitude, and peace. Please guide our new county leaders and help them to learn, grow, and become the best commissioners that they can be. Please encourage our leaders to take a long-range view and carefully consider the future impacts of the many decisions they will make. Help them to understand that despite passionate beliefs about property rights, we are all merely temporary stewards of this blessed land, which was here for many years before us and will remain long after we are gone. Help all of us to appreciate the intricate, balanced natural systems that we are still fortunate to have in this county. Help us to preserve and protect them as our testament to you, our Holy Father. Help us also to understand that we best honor you and the beauty of this county if we plan and develop our county wisely so that we retain our unique character and the special sense of place that is in keeping with the natural beauty around us. Dear Father, please help us to heal from this recent election and the many wounds that were inflicted. Please help those in our county with hearts at war to better understand and appreciate other people. Help us to remember that we are all human beings with strengths and weaknesses. We all make many unintentional mistakes. Let all of us look for the considerable good in others and avoid seeing evil where there is none, and refrain from throwing hurtful stones. Please help all of us to remember to do unto others as we would have others do unto us, and as you would want us to do. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're on to approval of the agenda this evening. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make several announcements.
I'm also going to add the Youth Coalition is going to make an announcement this evening, and I have one announcement that I'll make also. Any additional changes? Entertain a motion to approve.
First to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Under awards and presentations this evening, the first thing listed is recognition of outgoing commissioners by County Administrator David Edwards.
Thank you, Chairman. At this time, I'd like to pay tribute to our outgoing county commissioners, Commissioner Stewart, Commissioner Brock, and Commissioner Arts. You guys saw this county through probably some of the toughest times in recent history that we've had, and I know I thank you as well as the citizens. Thank you for the hard work and dedication that you've had and the decisions that you've made. And for that, I've got a plaque for you if each one of them come up. I promised I wouldn't make a long speech, so Randy, hopefully that's close enough. But I do want to thank you. Y'all have done an outstanding job, and your dedication to the county is commendable. And thank you so much. Y'all come up, please.
Let me get out of the way. I'm sure y'all.
There we go. Yeah, let's get a picture. Where's Katie? There you go. Right here. Oh, you got it? Will you tether that?
Well, be in the picture with us.
I would love, be honest.
Get that way up.
David, before you go forward, I'd like to do a redo with Ms. Arts and myself.
That's up to you two.
Oh, my goodness. No.
Are you getting on a knee?
I have to do this. I have to do this.
I
I
promised
remain
I would
professional.
give him a hug.
I gave Ms. Arts a small token of my appreciation, and she gave me a hug.
That's okay.
Okay. Moving forward with additional awards and presentations this evening, we have an announcement regarding Operation Santa from Ms. Gail Campbell and Mr. Bruce Ashley.
Listen, on behalf of the coalition, we also would like to thank from the bottom of our hearts those of you who are leaving this commission, and for your dedication and your love of children and what you do for children. And it's been sometimes fun, sometimes a greater challenge than any of us could have ever expected. But you've held true to what you believe in, and thank you for that. We will very much miss you all. I'm here today to talk to you about Operation Santa, and I'm a bit overwhelmed. We were a little bit out of the gate with Operation Santa. This is its third year. We are grateful that we have the community center for Operation Santa this year. It would have been much more challenging without that space. It is beautiful space for that, and as we look at it, even now we feel like, wow, this is not big enough. Next year we'll be even more challenged. But hopefully that's not the case. But for this year we are a little bit late out of the gate because of empty bowls. We have 135 families in the system right now. We expect another 20 from the school district tomorrow, and the deadline is Friday. That's over 600 people. We have resource development going on even as we speak, and we're here to make an appeal. Last year this county stepped up in ways that I won't take the time to remind you of, but everyone in this room adopted a family or contributed or came over and volunteered or folded clothes or washed clothes or cleaned toys, and everybody had a hand in it last year. And I think that because of our being laid out of the gate with you, like with empty bowls and then the election, we're a bit late getting started by 2 weeks, I'm guessing. And then we have distribution a full week earlier this year. That's a good thing, but it puts an added stress on all of us working the system. But we are, at the same time, we are vetting families, and families are being referred. It's important that you understand that the families are being referred from the school district, from churches, the senior center, self-referred, which puts a little greater burden on us to know who they are and why, Appalachia Center, Department of Health, Workforce Plus, Capital Area Community Action Agency. They're coming from all of those places. So when they're coming from those agencies, we trust that truly, I mean, who knows better than a teacher the needs that exist in the home. So we've taken those on, and the stories are ever as compelling. Children, I almost hesitate to do this. The reality is that in this economic time, $200 or $300 extra dollars a month is as elusive as the lottery for a lot of families, winning a $1 million lottery. So the stories, while some of them are heart-wrenching, like children sleeping on floors or having family dinners sitting in picnic style on the floor, the reality is that most of it's just plain out old hardship due to being the working poor and trying to manage in this economy and fill up your car with gas and buy groceries all at the same time. So we're in major resource drive, and we're here to make an appeal to say that, and so far folks who've stepped up, like the Avid kids at the high school, Seafarers Chapel, a dear friend, Ken Boland, a memorial fund was established for him, and his wife is giving that. The Children's Fund, Accompany CSG, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church, Francie Lowe, an attorney, the Tree and Walmart, and many other things are going on right now. What we need from all of you in this room and from the community are for you to pick up the phone and call and ask to adopt a family. And the kinds of things that they're asking for are as basic as sitting at home at your kitchen table. A box of Tide, toilet articles, a shaving kit. They're not asking for laptops or high-end items or bikes. Bikes are out this year. But donations are number one, or adoptions are number one. Donating gently used clothing or toys or other cash. Cash is good because we're going to have to spend money to fulfill the wishes of children not otherwise adopted. And then volunteering. The community center is a wreck. Don't come over, David Edwards. We'd be in trouble. It's a mess right now because we're trying to get ourselves organized, but help doing that. So that's where we are, and Bruce, I'm going to let you add to that.
I can't add too much to it. Y'all have heard me come up before, and another thank you for your service and your support to the coalition. We will miss your support, but we hope you'll stay engaged in our community, and we look forward to working with you, and I think that's the case. So this past weekend, the community feast down at the park in Hudson Park fed over 600 people.
and we're seeing evidence of a lot of our faith-based groups stepping up. We spoke with them last week and encouraged them to adopt this year. I think a number of the churches are going to have angel trees with hopefully some of the adopted families off this list. I know county staff's going to adopt because I've had communications. That's the thing that it would be as great a help with the fewer number of folks that we have involved at the community center. We're asking for help there, but adopting families is really, really important. The number is going to exceed 150 families, and we were at 141, over 600 people last year. We're going to exceed that number this year. And again, as Gail stated, the request, I saw one today for some dental work, and I saw one today for some other basic medical needs. It's what folks that absolutely are in very difficult times cannot go and do. And we know there are food deficiencies in many homes in the county as well. So food, clothing, basic household goods, and some very basic things towards the health of the folks that we're trying to help. And a few toys for a number of kids. But it's not an extravagant thing at all. So we thank you and encourage as many people in the community to be in touch with us, both business owners, organizations, that can be to help out. So we thank you.
And thank you, Gail and Bruce, for all that you do with Operation Santa and with the Wakulla County Coalition for Youth.
If somebody wanted to volunteer or adopt a family, how do they contact someone?
926.
You might want to say it into the microphone so they can hear it at home.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The telephone number is 926-3526. Or you can call the sheriff's office, and everybody over there knows what's going on too. The applications are there because it's a central place to pick them up.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Arts, you said you had a few announcements?
Yes, I do. Just want to make sure that everyone is aware that the swearing in of the three new county commissioners will be held here tomorrow at 5 p.m. And also anybody who has Waste Pro pickup on Thursday or Friday, because of the Thanksgiving holiday, they're going to push those dates to Friday and Saturday. So Thursday pickup will be pushed to Friday this week. Friday pickup will be pushed to Saturday this week. The Code Enforcement Board has some vacancies that they need to fill, and they are still accepting applications from interested citizens until the end of this month. So please consider serving on that important board. The whooping cranes are on their way back to St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge, and they always do a flyover that's beautiful to watch. It's hard to predict exactly when that'll be, but the tentative date's November 24th, so kind of stay tuned, and it's worth going out there to watch them. I have one other thing, and I think I'll go down there.
Okay.
2 years ago, when 2 county commissioners ended their terms, I came here and saluted them for their work and some of their accomplishments, and I want to just carry that tradition on a little bit longer, because there are 3 of us who are now ending our service to the county. And I wanted to just sing your praises for a few minutes. So first, Alan, it's been an honor to serve with you, and my respect for you has increased steadily. You've done so many important things that I don't think people in our county fully appreciate. The ROSIC designation, that was your leadership on that, and that's huge for the county in terms of grants. You worked tirelessly on the Restore Act. In fact, your work was considered worthy of the Florida Association of Counties President's Award. So the money that is likely to come to our county millions of dollars is in large part due to your work. You've been very involved in the community in many, many ways, from the census, your work with the census count, your work with United Way, Big Brothers Big Sisters, North Florida Broadband. You've really been out in the community working hard with and for people. I personally think your crowning achievement is the solid waste assessment. And, I don't think people realize what a terrible mess we were in. We were hemorrhaging money. We could not continue with the status quo. The only other option was not very good. And you actually repeatedly championed this alternative that all the rest of us thought was totally unaffordable. And it turned out to be affordable. And I think 10 years back, people look back and just, why was there even any disagreement about doing this? There's so many huge benefits. The amount of recycling has dramatically increased. The amount of litter and dumping in our forests is way decreased. You saved a lot of people money. The county is no longer hemorrhaging. My hat's off to you, and I know not everyone appreciates it, but I really think that's your legacy, and I was proud to be supportive in that. And Mike, it's also been an honor to serve with you, and you are a changed man, and my respect for you has greatly increased over time as well. It's always dangerous when you start trying to list off people's accomplishments. There are many that I've probably overlooked, but one of your supreme achievements, I think, was the Talcott wastewater treatment plant. You really played a key role in getting that environmentally hazardous situation offline and having them become a wholesale customer of the county. And I think that's just one example of where we as a board look to you as to be our negotiator, because you are an incredible negotiator. And, so you served us well in that way. You were a major advocate for addressing stormwater in Wakulla Gardens, and we made good progress in moving forward on that. I think there have been a number of votes where your strong sense of morality was evident, and you've been a passionate advocate for youth and a supporter of the community center. One of the most important votes for me that you cast was related to the wetlands ordinance, because I think we were able to preserve something that's been in existence in our comp plan for a long time, and my hat's off to you for that. You too are very active in the community traffic safety board, and all of your work with the junior ROTC youth. They just do so many important things in our community. And there's been long-term continuity with you. Most of the rest of us are new to the board, but you have the history and the perspective and a lot of information that's been vital to this board. So I really have enjoyed working with two of you. And as a group, I think one of our major accomplishments has been advancing the Crawfordville Town Plan from a vision, then to a plan, and ultimately to a reality. I think having defined the boundaries and established the overlay district and laid the groundwork for the TIF, the tax increment financing, is huge. It will change the way this county, and particularly the Crawfordville area, looks. And it's what people have been telling us they wanted for decades. So we made it happen with, obviously, help from planning staff and so forth. And then David also touched on, we had to steer the ship through horrible turbulent waters. And this board, and I say it to all of us, we're willing to make the tough decisions that needed to be made to pull our county out of a very deep financial hole and get back onto sound footing so that our county can provide the essential services that in many cases we're required to provide, but that our citizens need and want. So I think, it's public perceptions about what we do and decisions we make sometimes don't always reconcile very well with at least my memories or opinions on what this board has accomplished. But I've been very proud to serve on this board with you, and I wish both the two of you who are off to new careers or adventures and the two who remain all best wishes and success.
Thank you. Do you want to?
I have
Thank you. I have an announcement that I would like to make for the Senior Center. Tomorrow, November the 20th, between 4 and 7 p.m., there will be a dinner at the Senior Center for everybody who will attend. It's a free meal for the county, more or less. So, if you can, try to go over to the Senior Center tomorrow between 4 and 7 p.m. and have a nice Thanksgiving dinner, and tell your friends about it. It's at no cost, and you will certainly enjoy it. The Senior Center does a wonderful job, and they have a wonderful chef over there, so you'll be pleased with that meal.
Thank you. And the only announcement I wanted to make this evening, we now have, you can now check out ebooks at the public library. And as long as you have a library card, you can go online and check out ebooks for your Nook, your iPad, those different things at home. You have to have a library card, and you have to go to the library at least once to get a library card, but then you can check the books out from home. So just want to make the community aware. You should be hearing more about that. It's incredibly popular. I'm hearing it's in partnership. We're in Wilderness Coast Public Libraries, and it's in partnership with Franklin and Jefferson County, and they say 3 or 4 to 6 books are it's in the second week, and they're saying 6 books right now are getting checked out at least every day. So that's pretty neat. Moving forward, next on the agenda, citizens to be heard. We'll come back to that at 6:30 at the end of the meeting. The consent agenda.
So moved to approve. Second.
We all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, excellent. That's, I think, the first, in 4 years, the first consent agenda that I haven't had anything pulled off of, so neat. Planning and zoning, we don't have any items this evening. We have several general business items this evening. The first this evening is to request board approval to reopen, accept ownership, and maintain Brewster Road and Magnolia Street within Grinders Addition and Magnolia Garden subdivision. Cleve Fleming with the Public Works, well, it looks like Brent Pell with Public Works will be coming up to update us and help us move this forward.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the reopen, accept ownership, and maintain Bruce Road and Magnolia Street within Grinders Addition and Magnolia Gardens, but with the change that instead of hiring someone to do the clearing and grading, that the Public Works does it in-house on their schedule, so we're not spending county tax dollars to open this road, just the same way we used to do it.
One other suggested amendment to that motion is that because this right-of-way was vacated, the county no longer owns it, so you have to get a right-of-way deed from the current owner for the full length and width of the
I'll amend my motion to add Heather's suggestion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we need further discussion from Brent, or are we just good to move forward?
I don't want to talk to Brent.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passed unanimously. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time. Up next this evening is request board approval of amendment number 3 to task work order number 3 for the agreement between Wakulla Accountants and Atkins for professional planning and engineering service. Louis?
I'll make a motion to approve amendment 3, task order work number 3. You can still tell us, Louis, about it. For the agreement between Wakulla County and Atkins for professional planning and engineering services.
A motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do you want to hear from Louis?
I mean, I asked all the questions I wanted to at our briefing, so.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I always think it's helpful for staff to talk about items.
Could you please update us, sir?
Oh, sure. I'll be brief. It's Atkins is one of two firms that provides transportation review of applications in the county. This briefly is just to increase the maximum limited amount of the contract from $15,000 to $25,000, and to change the designation of the contract manager for the county. It's important to note that the fees paid by the county to the consultants are reimbursed by applicants when they make applications for transportation reviews, and staff is recommending in favor of this.
I want to just reiterate what Louis just said, that this is not something taxpayers pay. This is something a developer pays to have their own plans reviewed.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, good point. Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It passes unanimously. Last general business item this evening is request board approval of the recommended year-end budget resolutions and adjustments to the fiscal year 2011-12 budget. Greg James.
Yes, Greg, you're going up to the podium. This agenda item requests board approval of recommended year-end budget resolutions and budget adjustments. For the year ending 2011-12, or excuse me, our fiscal year. The board is allowed to approve budget adjustments to the current budget based on unforeseen cost and anticipated and not anticipated when the budget was adopted, and the budget increases for unanticipated grant revenue. The budget resolution section accounts for grants received throughout the year that was unanticipated. The budget adjustment sections accounts for some unanticipated costs incurred during the year, some year-end transfers and corrections of budget errors. And this in no way messes with our bottom line. This is primarily a budget adjustment for purposes of Greg and finance.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommended budget resolutions and budget adjustments for the inclusion in the FY 11-12 budget. Second.
No motion is second. Do we have further discussion?
I have a question for Greg.
Please.
We usually haven't seen something like this at the end of the budget year. So what is I've been told that something will be done differently so that these kind of things are addressed all through the
These
year.
could have been addressed previously in the year, and they were not, and so we're just doing a year-end cleanup. The statutes allow a 60-day period, November 30th, for final adjustments to the budget to be done, and so this is the last meeting for us to do that.
What are you putting in place so that these are done on a more timely basis, or when the budget itself is being
I can't promise that we'll never have a year-end budget amendment again. With year-end closeouts, there's always a possibility of still needing one, but monthly monitoring of the budget should be able to catch most of these.
Okay, it just seemed like a lot.
Some of them are
Some of them are very
small.
technical.
Right, yeah, some of them are
Just
very
trying to keep
small.
us,
There's one for a whole penny.
just housekeeping, that's what I call it.
I understand, but it seems like if there are ways that this could be done, whether we need to have budget amendments brought up when some of these items are considered or whatever.
I think the point is there's no way for them to know it until, not only do you have to close the budget year out, but you have a 30-day usual collection
Right.
of fees and all that stuff. You got to let that flush out of the system before you can really get a good picture on how to correct the final budget.
Yep.
And the total budget is going up on those budget resolutions. Those are unanticipated grants, and you see budget resolutions before you all the time. And so here's a couple at the year end that need to be done. The budget amendments are not increasing your budget; they're moving budget authority from one location to another.
Okay,
Any further
thank you.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Up next this evening, we have one commissioner item. Request board consideration of assigning commissioner offices.
I'd like y'all to adopt a procedure for this board to codify. Here's the way we assign offices. I know I've been around, I was here before you got elected, wasn't I, Mike? I was around a great deal around. But anyway, I've seen a lot of commissioners come and go, and at times there's been a little friction. And what I would suggest is that, I suggested this before, but I want to suggest it again. Whoever the chairman or chairwoman, chairperson is, from here on out, gets the office on the corner, the only one I think with windows in it. The vice chair gets to pick next of which office they want. Next will come seniority, if there's two people the same seniority, they'll have to flip a quarter or whatever, and then the remaining people will be randomly assigned. And I actually hope this encourages commissioners, me included, or Jerry, or whoever's here, from here on out, to not grow roots in an office and switch offices every year. And you know, it says in here they can work it out amongst themselves if they're three, but I think, you know, you're chairman, and I said this before, I think you're the one that's going to be meeting with the most people, and I think it represents good on the county for you to have this office.
And I appreciate what you're doing. My opinion, I'll throw out there for discussion. I think that, and it's more of seniority. If you have your office and you like your office, you could be able to keep your office. When the commissioner seat becomes vacant, so an office becomes vacant, if you'd like to, as a senior member, if you'd like to take that vacant office, you can take that vacant office. And if there's some people who want to, amongst the senior people want to argue, they can flip for it. And then it's randomly assigned to the other incoming county commissioners unless they can agree upon it themselves. So that it just seems to me, I mean, I had the opportunity 2 years ago. If I had wanted to, I could have moved. I was offered, because it was a vacant office, to the larger office in the middle. That's 2 rooms with a bathroom, no windows, and I declined because I liked not having to move my stuff, keeping it where I was comfortable in my little office that's about as big as this chair. I don't know that there's much gained by, like, I wouldn't have moved to the window office, so I don't know. It doesn't matter to me in any way.
Exactly. Doesn't matter. I'm just asking you guys to approve this. You're talking to David, and
We have a motion and a second. All right, other discussion from the board members? Commissioner Moore, Mr. Arts?
We're happy with that.
Mr. Morris, please. Mr. Arts?
I appreciate your thinking this through, and I don't have any strong opinions about it. I know I personally wouldn't want to move offices.
I think if there's a situation that can be worked out. I mean, this is not forced down this throat.
And to some extent, Alan mentioned seniority. I guess I would lean toward the bigger offices being for the people who spend more time there. We've had some commissioners like George Green, who was there every day, practically all day long. Other commissioners are, just less frequent.
I guess, I mean, don't anybody please take this the wrong way, but I think if a commissioner's there all day long, every day, they're probably spending too much time at the board office. That's just my opinion.
So, going back to, so like right now, the way it would work under the way I'm saying would be Commissioner Moore, if he wants to keep his office, could keep his office. You, having seniority, could keep your large office or move to the window office, whether you're chair or not. And then the other 3 commissioners who are coming in would draw straws for the remaining 3.
I like this because from here on out, the chairman, if they're the chairwoman or whoever they are, again, they're representing Wakulla County. To me, if they're going to come meet with you, let's say the Restore Act people, a couple of lawyers, and they're going to squeeze in your little office, and or you could have a big office to meet with people in. And I advocated a long time ago.
I know.
It's not worth arguing about.
It's not worth arguing about. I think I'm going to vote against it, but that's okay. I think you still pass. All right, hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Passes 4-1. I had Lynn on my side.
Now you know what it's like to be 4-1.
That's not the first time for me. It has been 4-1 to me many a time. Many a time. Okay. All right, well, that concludes Commissioner agenda items. County Attorney? County Administrator?
No operational updates, other than I do have a FEMA update. We will be on December the 5th at 2 p.m. We'll be meeting with FEMA on the flood maps. They'll be bringing FEMA folks as well as the folks from Northwest Florida Management District. They'll be here to discuss the appeals that we had put in on some of those issues. So just want to let y'all know that will be going on. And then after that, they'll may be making also in December their second. FEMA will be making their second public notice in the paper. So that'll start our appeal period as soon as that second one appears in the paper, or our 90-day window.
And so, David, when is I think I have a meeting with you to go back, we brought up a bunch of concerns about some weird things in St.
Right.
Mark's, and they're supposed to come back with answers.
That's December the 5th at 2 p.m. Yes, sir. So, that's it.
All right. Before we move into commissioner discussion items, we'll do citizens to be heard, and then we'll come to commissioner discussion items to conclude the meeting. Up first this evening is Ms. Jenny Brock, to be followed by Mr. Larry Roberts. Are you passing? Yes, sir. Mr. Larry Roberts declines the opportunity to speak this evening. Ms. Brock?
Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing me to speak. I am Jenny Brock. I live at 311 Old Magnolia Road. I attended a briefing on the Restore Act last weekend at our last National Wildlife Federation Board meeting. Their concerns are that the various area committees should understand the importance of choosing projects that actually contribute to the restoration of the Gulf of Mexico and are within the parameters of the Act requirements. It's important for us to understand that the various organizations, staffs, and volunteers who spent countless hours lobbying for the passage of this act managed to convince Congress, who represents 50 states, to give 80% of billions of dollars to 10% of the states. This has never happened before, and it will never happen again if we don't get it right. If we don't get it right, and another catastrophe like the Deepwater Horizon comes our way again, and it will, as long as there is drilling in the Gulf of Mexico without the use of best available technology, we'll be on our own to deal with it. Of course, it makes sense to us, the 5 affected states, to have funds coming our way for us to do the projects needed to clean up, restore, and get our special areas of the Gulf back to the best condition possible. But as someone from Montana or Colorado, or any of the other states for that matter, that aren't affected by oil spills, if it matters to them, well, yes, it is important to them if we actually spend the dollars to improve the health of one of this country's great waters. I'm asking you to guarantee to the citizens of this county that every effort will be made to ensure that this happens. As I've said before, this will be the greatest restoration project in the history of this nation, if we get it right. And I wanted to say that to this board because I suspect you are the ones who have chosen the committee members. I have been out of town, so I actually haven't seen the list, but I hope you have selected people who are aware of all these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes citizens to be heard. Discussion items by commissioners. Commissioner Stewart?
Thank you. Dan, thank you for those kind remarks. I do appreciate that. And I want to thank you, the citizens, for allowing me to serve you for the past 4 years. Regrettably, you lost confidence in me to serve another term. I know that these past 2 years have been the toughest for the board and the county. We've had to make some very tough decisions to bring our county out of a near fiscal disaster created by those who served previously. This board you see here tonight rolled up its sleeves and did what others refused to do. We had to lay people off and ask our workers to endure furloughs while we cut spending throughout the various constitutional offices. We rolled the budget back to the 05-06 levels. We took on the tough task of privatizing the solid waste, which meant doing the fiscally prudent thing and requiring all citizens to be on mandatory pickup, which wasn't the politically popular thing to do, but it was the fiscally and environmentally correct thing to do. While we were faced with a plummeting tax base and a continuing demand for services, we had to diversify our tax revenue. We adopted the public service tax, which will continue to enable future boards the ability to lower the ad valorem tax burden on those that have been carrying the brunt of the tax burden forever, the homeowners. Now everyone contributes something. I still believe the public service tax is a good thing for the county, and I hope the new board recognizes that fact as well and keeps it in place. I hope the new board will do what's right regardless of campaign promises. I am proud of all our accomplishments during the last 4 years. And when I say our accomplishments, I mean all 5 of us. But what I am the most appreciative of is our county staff. They have always been faithful to us. And I am sure they will continue to be to the new board. I want to especially thank Tim Barden, who has been hell-hacked the most because of the tough task he was handed when the former county administrator left, and he had to shore up what was left. He worked tirelessly to hold things together for more than a year while we put a new administrator and staff into place. With that said, I know we are handing off to the new board a strong and steady staff with David Edwards at the helm. I'll miss working with this board. I can honestly say that this has been the best combination of members I have ever served with. Even with our differences, I feel we have gotten more done collectively than any previous board I have sat on. We can be proud of the fact that we are leaving this county in much better financial and physical condition than we found it. And I am sure the upcoming audit, and that's this board's audit, will bear this out. I will miss doing this, but don't count me out yet. I am sure that God is not through with me, and I trust Him to show me what is in store for my future.
Thank you. Mr. Merritt?
Two things. One, Mike, I've known you and or fought with you in one fashion or another since '96, I think, when you first got elected. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but I used to have Cleve's job. And this is the first time I've ever served with you as an equal on the board, and it's been a pleasure. Alan, Lynn, of course, I obviously don't know you guys that long, but it's also been a pleasure serving with you. I think hopefully we've set a standard for civility and how to respect and treat each other, even if we don't agree. I mean, my gosh, Lynn just hugged Jerry's neck, and I think that...
And we never voted together.
Never voted together. Polar opposites on a lot of issues, but, you know, you can disagree without being disagreeable, and that, to me, is, you know, I've talked to people like my fireman Tim, the guy I know, he said he stopped watching the board meetings because they weren't entertaining anymore. And I think that's the way. I think they should be boring. We should do what we're supposed to do in that. And one more thing I just want to run by you guys. I know you're going to be sitting here on it, but it's just actually somebody, I think Chris has suggested this. I mean, I kind of thought it was a good idea moving forward about having a referendum on having nonpartisan commissioners and elected officials, other elected officials. I just want to ask what y'all had thought about it. I mean, I know even though you're not going to be commissioners, you're still obviously politically savvy. It would be just like the school board. You'd have a primary. If you didn't win 50%, the top two winners, no matter what political party they were, would go to the general election. And I personally think partisan politics have no place in local county races.
I agree.
And I just wanted to throw that out there.
It would
have to be voters would have to decide.
Yeah, it'd have to go on the ballot.
2 years from now, so it's nothing rushed, but I just wanted to see what y'all thought about it while we're here.
My observation, you have two different things. The reason you have the seats that are statewide nonpartisan, school board and city seats, is a partisan reason. Countywide. I'm talking about the nonpartisan races in the state already. Our school board across the state and all city commissioners are nonpartisan across the state. Those are places where we both traditionally saw Democrats win, and the Republican legislature made them nonpartisan to make it so people weren't automatically just voting party. My big concern when you make a race nonpartisan is that the way the state law works is it doesn't actually take the political parties out. So if you have a nonpartisan Republican running and a nonpartisan Democrat running, you can still have the political party put $20,000 in a Democrat's campaign account. And you still have the Democratic Party in Tallahassee ran ads saying these are the Democrats. So it's still, I don't know that it accomplishes what the goal is. And sometimes it makes it, I think, because most people don't pay attention to campaign political reports, the contributions, they may not know as much soft money from the parties are coming in. That's the only concern. It's not a big issue one way or the other.
I think about that, I guess, in general. I haven't believed you had to say anything, but I'll speak in the microphone. A lot of times people will say, I'm a Republican, I'm not voting for a Democrat, period. I don't care if they're running for dog catcher. I don't like Obama, I'm not voting for any Democrats. And I don't think That's just an example, but I don't think that had any place in local elections personally.
And I'll agree, and it may help. It may help elect Democrats locally because it looks like Wakulla County is moving more Republican.
Well, I think it'll help encourage people to really look at the person and not just vote
But the
party
party.
line.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Good point. I won't be out there advocating against it. I promise.
I totally agree with you. We should always vote for the person. I've had a lot of people tell me that they're independent, and I think basically the independent voter is a person who votes for the person. So I agree with you, Randy. I've got a couple of things here.
I support that. It's been kind of bounced around, and I think it's a great idea.
Because it'll be up to the next board, but I see what y'all thought about
It'll
it.
be on the next board. But no, I think it'd be a great ballot initiative. You could do it as early if you wanted to. I don't know. I take that back. It's
I don't think there's no election until 2014.
There's no. I was going to start to say presidential primary, but that won't be the 6th chance. Never mind. Let's go try and get it done for you early so y'all can fix it.
Long-term planning.
All right. I want to thank the candidates. My comments, closing comments for the night. I want to thank Jenny Brock and Ralph Thomas. I think we ran a really great campaign, all of us. I think that we stayed very positive, and I have no animosity towards either of my opponents, and I appreciate that, and thank you very much. I apologize to Dr. Kessler, Richard Hardin, and Ralph Thomas. I will not be able to attend your swearing in tomorrow. I had it on my calendar for Wednesday. Once we were no longer elected, they did not provide us an invite, and I put it in my calendar wrong, and I have a conflict tomorrow afternoon. I apologize, but I'm very happy for all of you. I want to thank Commissioner Arts. I think you brought a very strong voice to our board. I know you helped moderate our board in ways that I think it needs to be moderated. I have to move us to the middle. One of my friends makes jokes about moderates, that the only thing in the middle of the road are yellow lines and dead possums. But I think that's what you get done. I think the middle is where most of America and most of Wakulla and I think it takes the whole board of all sides to help move us to that middle direction. And Mike, I want to thank you so much. I've told you many times, my respect for you has grown so much over the last 4 years. You've always put people over politics and Wakulla County over politics, and I think that matters so much. And I'm very proud to have worked with you, and I've been very proud to work with all 4 of you. It has been an honor. And thank you to the people of Wakulla County for the privilege to serve. I really did appreciate it.
I have a whole sheet full, so maybe we'll get are you ready to clock it up?
10 minutes.
Okay. I'll extend that. Basically, I would like to, on the discussion, to direct staff to amend resolution number 12-9 regarding the Parks Advisory Committee to replace District 4 member Paige Killeen with Sherry Posey Miller. Staff will amend the resolution and bring it back to the board for approval at a future board meeting. What has happened, Ms. Colleen has sort of moved north a little bit, and she's missed a lot of the meetings. She's moved to a very good place, Hayesville, North Carolina. That's where I'm from. But anyway, she's missed a lot of the meetings that, and we felt like it would be good to have Sherry Posey Miller, who will be able to attend those meetings. So that's...
Second.
Any objection?
Where'd this come from, I guess, is the...
Well, Ms. Colleen had not been to any of the meetings.
We don't need a vet. I mean, does anybody else want to do it besides Cherie? I have nothing against Cherie, but
It's, I think it's sort of like my appointment.
is she the alternate or something?
It's Jerry's appointment.
It's Jerry's appointment to the board.
Jerry's
I stand corrected. Never mind.
We're just going to be bringing back,
Not that you
actually don't
can't
need to
do-
vote.
Oh, we don't have to vote?
No, 'cause
Okay.
we're just we'll bring back a resolution that'll make that substitution.
Okay.
You can't
Okay.
vote if you want, but you know.
A couple other things is, I talked with David today. If anybody out there in TV land would like to lease dock space at Rock Landing, our leases are ready. You can check with Brian Roddenberry, but if you need dock space, we now have the lease that you can lease, and you can park your boat at Rock Landing Dock. So that has only taken the government 2 years or maybe a little more to get a lease. It's government in action, but we do have the lease now that's available. I would like to thank Cleve for doing the Shell Point cedar tree and his group who put the shell out there and covered the roots on, and maybe we can survive that until we get another solution. But the people at Shell Point are very happy with what you did, Cleve. So thank you for that. A little bit about my commissioners who are leaving. I would like to say for Ms. Arts, she's extremely sincere in her efforts on the commission. She has absolutely no malice. I've never detected any malice in her voice, or she gets confused a little bit when I vote against her, but having me do that so many times, she still, I think she still is a good person with no malice. Probably she is the most detailed person. I don't know when she had time to do all the work she did, but most all of her items were detailed and backed up and backed up and backed up one more time with facts. So she's extremely detailed. And I don't think I've ever met a sweeter lady. She's just absolutely the sweetest person. And I was told when I got up here in this position that I should not get too close over this way because she would be swinging her arms and probably hit me. So I've stayed, most of the time I've stayed away, and I haven't been hit. So, but Ms. Arts, you are an extremely nice and sweet person. And talking about Alan, I just have one thing I can say about Alan is he is also one of the nicest people that I know, and I'm just I'm glad to have served here on the board. You've done many good things for the board, for the county, for the people. Really, everything you've done has been really good. But without a question, you're just one of the nicest people that I know, and I'm proud to call you my friend. And over to Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike is just an extremely good person. He's tough in his beliefs, and there's nobody on this board, well, maybe not that way, but he made the tough decisions to get this county out of the state control, because they were going to take control of our county if we didn't make decisions that were hard. And he made those decisions in election year, and those decisions were probably held against him somehow in his election. But it takes a lot of backbone to make hard decisions when you know you're going to be hurt by those. And he made those decisions, and I respect you for that. And Cleve, you keep talking about my pumping station. That should be Mike's pumping station. Mike and I had been working on that pumping station for a good year before it ever came to fruition. And he was very active in that pumping station. And I would like to, Mike never got credit for that at all, but Mike is the person who is responsible most of all for the donation of that land in the pumping station. So, and one other thing about Mr. Mike is that if Mr. Mike tells you something, you can take it to the bank. He has values that are solid, and he has honesty to the core. And those things don't necessarily serve a politician well. They should serve a politician well, and we should all have that. But Mr. Mike has values and honesty to the core, and that's about all I'll say. I wish that I had all the values that you had, Mike. You're a good person, and it's been a pleasure. These fellows that are leaving and ladies that are leaving, it was a good board. We agreed to disagree, but I don't think there was ever a hard word between us, and Ms. Arts should have hit me many times. But I've enjoyed serving with you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Last word of the night, Commissioner Arts.
Oh, boy. Well, I've already expressed my gratitude to the board, and it truly has been an honor to serve with you. I would like to express my appreciation to our staff. This county has wonderful, very knowledgeable, talented, hard-working county employees, and there are far too few of them. They have impressed me no end with their competency and their dedication to the county and their ability to juggle multiple bosses and, they only have the county administrator, but to work with multiple commissioners who have very different views on things, and they're always respectful, pleasant, helpful. I haven't had one interaction with staff person that was not just exemplary. Their customer service skills are outstanding, and this county runs because of our staff. And really, every single one of you know how hard you work and how much you do, and you know how hard it is when often there aren't enough of you, there aren't enough resources. Citizens are often upset about things, and you handle that all gracefully. So, really, I think everyone in this county needs to show some appreciation to the wonderful, hard-working people that we have. And I mean that at all levels, from our county administrator, county attorney, all our department heads, down to every single employee. So I have greatly enjoyed working with you and indebted to you for all the help that you provided to me. And then I guess my closing words would just be to the citizens of Wakulla County. I have tried to do my best on your behalf, always thinking about the common good and what would benefit the most people over the long term. And I'm so honored that I was elected to serve for 4 years, and it's been a wonderful learning experience for me, and I know I've made mistakes and haven't always lived up to the expectations that I've had for myself, but I've tried, and so forgive me where I fell short, and again, thank you for letting me serve.
Thank you. On that note, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Oh, citizens be heard.
Sorry, John.
Already did it.
Oh.
6 o'clock on the dot, y'all. Thank you very much.
We're going to leave on that note.
Have a great night.
Sorry, Jimmy, I heard you.
Thank y'all very much.